Alright, so it's been a while, but the C55 is making a reappearance on the channel. So, got a couple things to take care of. As I told, we were going to do an oil change, but I've been getting a couple other warning lights. One, because my washer fluid is gone, pretty much. And two, which this was a reoccurring issue that happened, like, I think last year sometime. My coolant check coolant light kept coming on, or a little, warning on the dash. But coolant level's fine. Last time what I did is I ended up cleaning off. I just took these cables off. There's two. There's one for the bottom of the tank down there, and then one right here for the auxiliary pump. So what I did last time is I ended up just cleaning these off with MAF cleaner and a little bit of like a wire brush just on here on the terminals. And then I might be able to put a tiny bit in there. It's really not low though, so I'm gonna try this, and then I'll drop a little bit of coolant in there. But besides that, yeah. All right, and then for our oil change, we're gonna be using, like I said, the Castrol Edge 0W40. I switched to this in the MO55. That seems to like it. It's only been a couple hundred miles since I put it in, but that seems to like it. And I just want to experiment. I've tried a couple different oils. I've tried a Mobil one 5W40. I've tried Mobil one 0W40 like normal. I've tried mixing 0W40 with a 10W40, like 2 parts 0W40 and 1 part 10W40 to try to get a different mixture. And yeah, it seems to just chew through the Mobil one. It seems like every oil change in between time, I'm usually adding a quart up to a couple quarts, depending on how I'm driving. If I'm driving it hard, then it's going to burn more, which I know the engine's got a lot of miles on it. Not that many for what it is. M113s are known to go for a long time, but it's nearing 160, and I don't know its whole life before I had it. So, ring seals could be starting to fade a little bit. I know these motors like to chew a little bit of oil anyways because they run so hot. But yeah, we're just kind of experimenting at this point. This is still standard grade oil that meets MB spec. So we're going to run it. And the other thing, good for any of you guys that order these man filters off FCP, crush washers. The size, in case you guys are wondering, is M14, so a 14 millimeter bolt. And then the outside millimeter, I think stock is 20 millimeters. And then the thickness is about 1.5 to 2 millimeters. But I ended up finding these on Amazon. There's a pack of 50 aluminum crush washers for like $9. And these Honda and Acura actually have a similar spec for the crush washer. So I think these are everything the same, except the outside diameter is 2 millimeters greater. So it's like 14 by 22 by 2 millimeters, I think. So exactly the same, just a little bit bigger on the outside, which shouldn't make a big deal. But really good deal. I'll probably never have to buy washers again for this or the M155. I'll just end up using these for both. 50 in here. That's a lot of oil changes. That's at least 25 oil changes or so worth of washers. So should be set for quite some time. By the way, I did get the engine mounts and transmission mounts for the ML55. These are from Rein. I've tried their parts before and was happy with them. Got them off FCP, so lifetime warranty. These kind of have this weird, like, flaky, flaky shell to the rubber. The rubber feels fine, but I don't know, it's like some coating that's on there. But my plan for this, so I'm kind of feeling like modifying it because I know how they tend to break. So what happens on normally the ones I've seen that break, this part actually ends up lifting off of the rubber, and then it ends up kind of flapping around. So I don't know if it will be possible. I might have to play around with this a little more. But if if this is steel up here underneath the little rubber coating and steel down here, then my plan was to take this to a shop near me and have them weld a little like steel bracket on each side, so that way even if the rubber deteriorates and everything else, it'll keep this piece, you know, where it's supposed to be. So it's a possibility. I got to see exactly what's underneath these. I'll have to file them down a little bit, but yeah, this rubber flaking stuff is really weird. I don't know why it's like that, but yeah, no part I've gotten before has been like that. But it looks like just like some protective coating or something, because the rubber is perfectly fine underneath. It feels good. But yeah, that's the plan for those. These are for the ML55, but we'll see. I know it's steel because this is exposed down here, but I could take it to the shop and see what they say, see if they can do it or not. But I think that would be a cool little hack that would save us down the road from having these ever fail. So you know, I like to modify parts for longevity, so we'll see. All right, so I refilled the windshield washer fluid and also topped this off. I barely took anything, but and then cleaned off those sensors. I guess there's one more sensor. I just was reading about it on MBWorld. There's one more sensor that's in the windshield washer. That's more of like the sending sensor, like the sensor that sends a signal to say one of these is low, because I guess they run off of the same one, the coolant and the windshield washer fluid. So that sensor is something I might look into. Not right now, but if the error keeps popping up, then I will go ahead and check it. But for now, let's take care of this. I always like to take off the filter first. I got to get my tool on there, and then undo the oil cap while I'm underneath. It just helps the oil come out a little smoother. And then while I'm under there, I was also going to spray some of this on the sway bar bushings. Just try to get it in there a little bit. It's not going to do a lot, but should help out a little bit. I've been getting a little bit of squeaking when I'm haven't driven the car in a while, so I'm going to spray that on there and get the oil out, and I'll update you guys in a second. All right, so here's underneath the car. There's 6 8mm bolts to get off of the lower pan. And then, just in case you guys don't know, this is the jack point. It's underneath the motor right there. So yeah, there's 1, 2, 3 for this front pan, so 3 on each side. And then the back pan comes off once you get these back ones off. And then there's 2 at the back of the car. I usually only take 1 off and then I swing it around just because it makes it a little easier. So yeah, I'll show you guys in a sec. Alright, so there it is. Bottom pans are off. So that's, like I said, I just kind of swing that one around once I get that off. There's actually 4 bolts for that back one. I forgot about the side 2 on the wings, but you'll see. And then here, there's 2 drain plugs. So there's one right there, and then there's one on the side. There we go. So it's right in front of the sway bar. It's a little tricky to get to. You just have to use an extension. I usually go from the gap right here. I just use an extension on it. So yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna take care of this and then we will get going. All right, so I got the back one drained. Just finished draining the side one. This one, only about maybe a quart and a half is gonna come out of this one after you drain that other one first. I suggest starting with the back one. It just comes out easier. This one, it's got the sway bar and the cooler lines in the way, so I suggest doing it in that order. Yeah, just waiting for this one to drain a little bit longer, and I'll get that cleaned up. Put my bolt back in and get it all tightened up. Put my oil in and we'll be good to go. The washers that I got, I'll show you guys. So yeah, the washers that I got, perfect fit, perfect diameter, fit really well. They're a little bit over the bolt, but that's no problem. It just gives more surface area for it to clamp down on. And they fit perfectly in the grooves on the actual oil pan. So yeah, again, size was M14, 22 by 2 millimeters. And I can put the link below for where I got these. Got these on Amazon. Pack of 50, probably gonna last me forever. So yeah, well worth it. $9. All right, she's all buttoned up underneath. There's all the old oil. I'm gonna go ahead and drop it down and then fill her up. Still got to take out the filter and change that. But I was just letting it aerate while it was clearing. Honestly, the only thing I dislike about doing this is all of the belly pan bolts. Yeah, there's, I think, 10 altogether. 10, I believe 10. 6 in the front and then 4 in the back. Those are probably the most annoying job of anything that I ever work on in this car. I always like dread getting under there and undoing all those bolts. I know it's not that big a deal, but I just wish there was an easier way to do it, like a fastener or something. But it doesn't seem to be right now, so it's cool. Alright, so new oil filter is on. As always, make sure you replace all the gaskets on here. There's a tiny one up there, one right there. Sorry, it's not focusing. There's one right there, and this one right here. The pack always comes with an extra one right there, but I guess it's for different applications, but mine only has one of those. And yeah, it goes back in like so. And then I usually just hand tighten this and then give it like one snug with that actual tool. So you can see it's gonna meet the surface. And then once it gets down there, I mean, you can literally probably just leave this on by hand if you wanted to, but I usually give it one snug. Once it's tight by hand, I just give it one little snug. And then I'm gonna fill it up, and that's it. All right, she's all filled up. What came out, I got about, that's at 5, and then this is at about 3.5, so I'm about half a quart low. This motor takes 9 quarts compared to the ML55. It's a little bit more than that one, so yeah, but not bad. I didn't have to fill it up for quite a while in between. I did a 5,000 mile interval this time, so being half a quart low is actually better than what it had been doing, and I'm hoping that me experimenting with the different oils helped a little bit. I ran a turbo diesel oil in there, the 5W40 Mobil one, and I mixed the 10W40 high mileage oil with the 0W40 and ran that for a short interval. I ran both of those for about 3,000 miles because I'd heard that would help kind of clean everything out and help with the seals a little bit. So did a short interval with that, and then this last one, it was ran on Mobil 1 0W40. And I think I only went through a quart for that 5,000 miles, which is a lot better than what it was before. Like during summer, I had gone through 2 quarts, I believe, in like a 8,000 mile interval. So yeah, it's doing better. Let's start her up. All right, everything's cool. That's it for the oil change. Peace.